Could fruit, often called a natural cure-all, actually be weakening your legs each and every day? Sounds quite strange, doesn't it? We are raised believing that eating plenty of fruit is good, but what few people tell you is that certain fruits, when eaten improperly or too much, quietly weaken muscles, may cause arthritis, and destroy the leg flexibility you need for balance, especially after 60. Have you ever felt your legs gradually becoming weaker, no longer as flexible, tired from prolonged standing, shaky on stairs, or losing balance when you stand up? Many people just think it's age, but sometimes the problem is rooted in the daily fruit plate we unconsciously eat, believing we are doing something beneficial for our health. The truth is, at least 7 common fruits in United States supermarkets, often in breakfast, snacks, or smoothies, could be damaging your leg strength if you are not aware how to adjust. And the frightening part is, not all of them will show clear signs. They can damage the body from within, little by little, slowing down reflexes, draining stamina, and increasing the fall risk for older adults. But the really good news is, you can indeed change all that. In this video, I'm going to specifically share 7 fruits to be careful with, why they impact legs, and most importantly, what you ought to do to protect your own muscles, joints, and flexibility every day. If you are looking for ways to keep legs steady, avoiding weakness as you get older, please don't look away from this video. And if you find this topic genuinely interesting, please do subscribe and turn on notifications. That is how you will not miss our future shares, which can help you live healthier every single day. Are you ready? Let us begin right now. First up, a type many don't expect, something often found in most refrigerators: oranges and lemons. Did you know that a glass of orange juice every morning, something seemingly so very healthy, could actually make your legs weaker with each day? Sounds hard to believe, doesn't it? But perhaps that exact habit, maintained consistently over many years, is silently stealing the stability your legs once possessed. Many people still think vitamin C is a panacea, helping boost immunity, fight aging. And that is true, but if overused, it truly becomes a double-edged sword. The problem is, very few older adults know that the high acid content in oranges, lemons, if consumed too much, increases the risk of calcium loss, a key mineral for strong bones. When the body lacks calcium, it not only affects teeth or the spine, but the legs. The parts supporting the entire body will be the very first to weaken. According to statistics from the National Institutes of Health, over 40% of people over 65 in the United States suffer calcium deficiency, and this often goes undetected until they happen to stumble or can no longer walk as steadily as before. I still remember the story of Mr. Harold, 78 years old, living in rural Texas. Every morning he drank a large orange juice, thinking it helped cleanse his body. One day, while walking down the stairs, he suddenly felt his knees go weak. Then he collapsed. The doctor said his bones had lost significant density. He was shocked. "I don't smoke, no alcohol. Why are my legs weakening?" And the surprising answer lay in that seemingly harmless daily glass of orange juice. In contrast was Mrs. Clara, 74 years old, who had mild arthritis. After her daughter, a nutritionist, advised her to limit acidic fruits and switch to drinking warm water with a little honey, she found she no longer had knee pain each morning. Every time she walked to the garden to pick tomatoes, she would say, "My legs have their strength back again." If you are still drinking orange or lemon juice daily, try stopping for several weeks. See how your body reacts. Instead, you can get vitamin C from green vegetables like broccoli, kale. These types are both low in acid and rich in fiber, good for digestion and helping the body absorb calcium better. And if you think, "I've drunk orange juice since childhood, what's wrong?" Please remember, the body after age 65 no longer absorbs and metabolizes like in youth. What was once good for you may no longer be as benign as it was before. Your body is speaking to you differently now. Listen to it. Look back at your legs. Are they still flexible? Still strong when climbing stairs? Or have you grown accustomed to feeling unsteady just because you think that is natural? Not at all. Your legs deserve to be protected, starting with what you eat and what you drink every single day. Another fruit, soft, sweet, and seemingly harmless, yet it hides a truly enormous risk. Yes, that is precisely bananas. Can you believe it? A shiny yellow banana, a symbol of health and energy, could actually what makes your legs ache and tremble when you walk. It sounds like a joke, but it is true. Many older adults are eating bananas daily. Some eat up to 2 or 3, thinking bananas help prevent constipation, boost potassium, and are good for cardiovascular health. But what few know is, if you eat too many bananas, especially when the body is no longer as balanced as in youth, it can make your legs weaker day after day. Why is that? Bananas contain lots of potassium but very little sodium. This is not an issue for young people, but for those over 60, the body's electrolyte system begins to weaken, and an imbalance between potassium and sodium will directly affect muscle function, especially the muscle groups in the legs and the thighs. Have you ever felt your legs suddenly jerk or cramp in the middle of the night? You might have blamed cold weather or age, but the truth is an excess potassium in the blood can also be a silent culprit. According to a report from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, nearly 1/3 of older adults show signs of electrolyte imbalance without knowing, and this is directly related to a decrease in muscle strength and an increased risk of falls. I vividly remember the case of Mr. Lewis, 82 years old in Florida. He said that every morning he ate 2 bananas, then went to the garden to water plants. But recently he often experienced calf cramps in the middle of the night, so painful he had to sit bolt upright. Blood tests by the doctor revealed his potassium levels were higher than necessary, while sodium was low. After adjusting his diet, only half a banana per day, and supplementing natural sodium through bone broth, the cramps disappeared completely. Then there was Mrs. Emma, 76 years old, who once fell in the bathroom simply because her legs suddenly weakened as she was stepping out of the tub. After readjusting her diet and receiving advice from an expert, she shared, "I never imagined just 1 banana each morning could affect my legs so much." So what's the solution? It is not that you must give up bananas entirely, but rather understand your body's own limits. For older adults, you should eat a maximum of 1 banana per day, and it is best eaten in the morning. If you already have signs of cramps, muscle weakness, or are feeling your legs no longer obey as before, try reducing bananas for a few weeks and monitor the change. Additionally, you can balance electrolytes through simple methods such as drinking coconut water but not overdoing it, eating bone broth soup, or supplementing with green vegetables rich in natural sodium like celery or white radish. The legs bear the weight of an entire lifetime. Every step you take, every trip to visit grandchildren, every morning walk in the park, all require their stability. Do not let a small habit unintentionally shake that important foundation. Ask yourself, are my legs truly okay today? And if the answer is not sure, then perhaps it is time to re-examine that familiar morning banana. Next is a popular fruit for dessert, pineapple. Have you ever felt, despite resting enough, eating carefully, your legs still feel heavy, walking laboriously as if carrying stones? If so, then you are not alone. But more noteworthy is that the cause might come from something you still think is very good. Pineapple. Pineapple is a beloved fruit for its refreshing sweetness, coolness, and many believe it benefits digestion, skin beauty, and reduces inflammation. But for older adults, especially those with blood circulation issues, blood pressure problems, or using anticoagulants, then pineapple can cause an adverse reaction, silently weakening muscle groups, particularly in the legs. Why? Pineapple contains an active compound called bromelain, a powerful enzyme that can slightly thin the blood and affect the body's natural clotting ability. This might sound good, but if you are already taking aspirin or blood pressure medication, eating a lot of pineapple can slow circulation, causing fatigue, muscle looseness, and susceptibility to numbness or cramps. A study by the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health showed that uncontrolled bromelain supplementation in older adults can cause mild disturbances in the peripheral circulatory system, leading to a feeling of weak limbs, no longer as strong as before. I also remember Mrs. Martha, 80 years old, living in North Carolina. sharing that she ate pineapple almost daily because she felt rejuvenated each time she ate it. But in recent months, she began to notice her legs weakening significantly, especially when standing for long periods. After her doctor inquired carefully about her diet, they discovered the amount of bromelain she napped into was higher than safe levels. When she cut back pineapple, combined drinking warm water, and supplementing minerals, her leg muscle strength started to return. She said, "I never expected such a sweet, wholesome fruit could make me unable to stand firm." Conversely, Mr. Jeff, 75 years old, had a history of blood clots, but knew well his constitution was not suited to strong enzymes. He avoided pineapple and switched to eating healthier fruits like blueberries and blackcurrants. As a result, he maintained his flexibility when deboing die each morning. "Legs are something you cannot trade," he said. "Eating something delicious that weakens you, then it is no longer worth it." So what should you do? If you love pineapple, eat it in small amounts, no more than 2 to 3 slices each time, and no more than twice per week. Avoid eating when hungry or combining it with medication you are taking. Additionally, you should choose fully ripened pineapple and wash off the outer sap because pineapple sap contains the most bromelain. And if you have ever felt leg numbness, cramps, thigh muscle fatigue, don't quickly assume it's just old age. Try rechecking your pineapple portion. Sometimes your body is speaking out, but you mistakenly attribute that important call to time. Do not let something as small as pineapple take away the stability of your legs, because every steady step taken today is a promise for the freedom of tomorrow. Next up, grapes, one of those sweet culprits. Have you ever eaten a few grapes and thought, "Oh, it's just fruit, surely it's fine"? But then, several days later, you suddenly feel a dull ache in your knees, your leg joints stiffer climbing stairs. You attribute it to the weather or to old age. But in reality, the culprit might be in the afternoon fruit basket, those seemingly harmless bunches of grapes. Grapes, especially red and green grapes, have a cool sweetness, are easy to eat, and always considered a heart-healthy fruit. But did you know? Grapes have a high glycemic index, and when eaten in quantity, they can cause blood sugar to spike suddenly, triggering an inflammatory response in the body, particularly in the joints and leg muscles. According to research from the Arthritis Foundation, a diet high in sugar, even from sweet fruits, can worsen existing arthritis symptoms, making older adults prone to knee pain, morning joint stiffness, or even loss of flexibility when moving. I once heard the story of Mr. Walter, 77 years old in California. He loved grapes very much, each time eating a large plateful. In recent months, he found he could no longer walk as quickly. His knee joints often clicked, especially after sitting for long. After his son, a physical therapist, inquired carefully about his diet, it was discovered the amount of sugar from grapes he consumed was almost equivalent to a can of soda each day. When he reduced eating grapes, substituting a few slices of green apple or pomelo, combined with light exercise for his leg joints, he felt much lighter, more flexible, and no longer had that stiff as wood feeling in his legs each morning. Conversely, Mrs. Sharon, 75 years old, still maintained good flexibility and balance by controlling her intake of sweet fruits, drinking plenty of water, and prioritizing low-sugar fruits like kiwi, blueberries, or pears. She said a sentence I remember always: "I don't need to eat anything that makes me pay with my knees." So what should you do? No need to give up grapes completely, but please remember, only eat 5 to 7 grapes per serving, and preferably eat them in the morning or early afternoon. Absolutely avoid eating grapes after dinner or when your stomach is empty, because blood sugar easily spikes then and makes joints prone to lingering inflammation. Also, if you are currently suffering from arthritis, knee pain, or have a history of diabetes, limit your grape intake weekly. A maximum of 2 times is sufficient. Your legs do not lie. If they suddenly become heavy, stiff, or no longer as flexible as before, do not rush to blame your age. Re-examine your fruit intake, because sometimes that very sweet wholesomeness is slowing you down step by step without you knowing. Age does not take away your strength. Incorrect eating habits are what silently bring down your legs. Next is another fruit, intensely sweet and fragrant every summer, yet it can cause mild joint swelling, legs easily tiring after standing long. That is mango. Do you remember when you were young, every summer the whole family would eagerly await ripe, luscious yellow mangoes? Mangoes carry so many memories, from sunny, windy hometown days to afternoons fanning oneself while eating cold mangoes on the porch. But then, some things that were good for us at age 30 are no longer suitable when we reach age 70. Mangoes, however delicious, remain one of the fruits containing the highest natural sugar content, while their fiber content is quite low compared to other fruits. This is particularly noteworthy for older adults because this sugar-fiber imbalance can cause blood sugar to rise quickly, followed by strong fluctuations in insulin, a very important hormone for maintaining stable energy and muscle. When insulin spikes, your body switches to fat storage mode instead of preserving muscle. And for older adults, whose muscles have already begun to naturally decline with age, this is like adding fuel to the fire. According to a study by Harvard Medical School, frequent consumption of high glycemic index foods, including mangoes, can lead to reduced muscle mass and increased visceral fat accumulation in people over 65. Mrs. Eleanor, 76 years old in Arizona, is a typical example. She used to eat mangoes almost daily during summer because she thought mangoes are natural, so they are safe. But after several months, she noticed her weight increased rapidly, especially around her abdomen, while her legs grew weaker. The doctor said she had mild sarcopenia, meaning age-related muscle loss, exacerbated by a diet containing too much sugar and lacking fiber. Conversely, Mr. James, 80 years old, once loved mangoes, but after discovering he had a risk of prediabetes, he switched to eating green apples and avocados, two fruits with lower glycemic indexes, also rich in good fats and plant fiber. Only after 3 months, he felt his energy increase noticeably. His steps became steadier and he no longer felt muscle fatigue after each walk around his neighborhood. So what is the solution for you? You do not need to say goodbye to mangoes forever, but eat them intelligently. Only eat 1/3 to 1/2 a mango per serving, and preferably eat it with fiber-rich or protein-rich foods like walnuts, almonds, or a little unsweetened yogurt. Avoid eating mangoes in the evening because insulin works slower then, making fat accumulation easier. Furthermore, if you have experienced cramps, unexplained weight gain, or muscle fatigue despite not exercising much, you should temporarily stop eating mangoes for 1 to 2 weeks and monitor your health again. Your legs need gentleness, not only in every step, but also in what you put into your body each day. Mangoes can be delicious, but if they make you gradually lose flexibility, then is it worth it? One more extremely familiar fruit follows next. That is apple. Have you ever heard the saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away"? That saying has existed for a very long time, and it is true, but only true when you eat apples intelligently. Apples, with their refreshing, crisp sweetness, are a favorite for many older adults. Easy to eat, good for digestion, and that healthy feeling each time you hold an apple and take a bite. But if you eat too many apples and neglect other foods, especially foods rich in vitamin D and calcium, then it is a different story. Apples contain plenty of fiber and vitamin C, but almost no vitamin D, calcium, or protein, essential nutrients for strong bones and powerful muscles in later years. According to research from Tufts University, Massachusetts, about 60% of older adults eat lots of fruit, but are severely deficient in vitamin D and calcium, leading to silent osteoporosis and irreversible muscle loss, especially in the lower body like thighs and calves. I still recall the story of Ms. Linda, 72 years old in Oregon. She often ate 2 apples each day, replacing breakfast and snacks. But then she started feeling her knees weaken, her legs no longer maintaining balance when standing for long. She still thought she was eating very healthily until a health check. The doctor said her bones were rapidly losing density and her leg muscle mass had significantly decreased. Conversely, Mr. Daniel, 78 years old, also liked apples, but he only ate half an apple daily with Greek yogurt and a few slices of cheese to ensure his body received enough calcium and protein. He still walks regularly, his knees do not hurt, and he maintains flexibility when going up and down steps, something he calls body freedom. So what should you do? Continue eating apples, but limit to one per day, and eat with foods rich in calcium, vitamin D, or protein. Do not use apples to replace main meals or eat too many during the day, because even though it is a good fruit, apples cannot carry all your nutritional needs. If you have signs of leg pain, hand tremors when lifting light objects, or muscle fatigue despite adequate rest, reconsider if you are eating too clean but lacking substance. Sometimes what truly weakens us is not indulgence, but meticulousness that lacks proper balance. One apple each day is good, but if it makes you forget calcium, vitamin D, and protein, then it is very possible it itself is silently taking away your legs. And finally, there are strawberries. Have you ever thought that a bowl of plump red, fragrant strawberries could silently make your legs weaker little by little? Truly hard to believe, right? Strawberries have long been considered a symbol of freshness and good health. Rich in vitamin C, antioxidants, with a pleasant, sweet tart taste. Many older adults really enjoy eating strawberries in the morning or as a light dessert after dinner. But what few notice is, when eaten excessively, especially over a long period, strawberries can increase inflammation levels in the body, the most noticeable manifestation being in the joints, muscles, and leg strength. The reason is because strawberries contain a compound called salicylate, nearly identical to an ingredient in aspirin. For some people with sensitive constitutions, consuming a lot of salicylate can trigger mild inflammatory reactions, muscle fatigue, and increase the risk of aching knee joints, ankles, already worn down by the years. According to a report from the Journal of Inflammation, about 15% of older adults experience mild inflammatory sensitivity to certain natural compounds in fruits, and strawberries are among the leading group. The body does not react violently, but rather accumulates lingering inflammation, causing fatigue, heavy legs, difficulty standing long or climbing stairs. Mrs. Esther, 79 years old, in Colorado is a prime example. She loves strawberries very much, each day eating a large bowl, even replacing her afternoon snack. But then she started experiencing heel pain, stiff leg joints each morning, and hesitated to go out to the garden as before. When her doctor advised reducing strawberries in her diet and increasing green vegetables, beans, nuts, then after just 2 weeks she felt lighter. Her movement became flexible again. She said, "I never thought something sweet like strawberries could make my legs so weak." Conversely, Mr. Peter, 81 years old, also likes strawberries, but he only ate a few each week and always combined them with other low-sugar, high-fiber fruits like green apples or kiwi. He also maintained a habit of drinking herbal tea in the afternoon to reduce inflammation, helping his legs remain strong whenever he walked with his wife around the neighborhood. So what should you do? Limit strawberries to 5 to 7 berries per serving, and do not eat them continuously every day. Avoid eating strawberries when your stomach is empty or before bedtime, because then the body most easily absorbs inflammation-stimulating substances. If you have symptoms like a dull ache in the knees, calf fatigue, or an uncomfortable feeling in your legs for no clear reason, then try stopping strawberries for 1 week to observe. Strawberries are not bad, but an older person's body is no longer as lenient as in its 20s. What was once good now needs to be understood more thoroughly, because every step today is the result of small choices made each day. Do not let one small, sweet strawberry leave your legs feeling weary and weak. Sweetness can be good, but if sweet weakens you, then it is time you need to ease up. You see, sometimes what is thought to be good for health silently takes away old age's most precious thing: stability in every footstep. Through today's video, perhaps you have reconsidered familiar fruits in a different light. Not to avoid them completely, but to eat right and live healthily. With just some small daily adjustments, you can help your legs become more flexible, less tired, stand firmer, to continue doing what you love: walking around the park, climbing stairs without holding on, or simply standing long in the kitchen to cook a meal for loved ones. Do not wait until your legs are weak to start worrying. Healthcare starts with the smallest things, like how you choose your fruit in the morning. So now, try looking in your own refrigerator. Are there any fruits to reduce? Are there any you should replace? Apply the small tips from today's video and feel the difference after a few weeks. If you found this information useful, do not hesitate to share this video with a friend or relative. Everyone deserves strong legs to live freely, unconstrained by age. And I also really wish to hear from you. Which fruit surprised you the most? What will you now change starting from today? Please do leave a comment below because perhaps your own story will inspire someone else. Thank you for staying until the end. See you again in the next videos, where every small sharing can help you live slower, live healthier, and live happier each day.